Hello guys, so I'm on an unscheduled live tonight. I was going to put a post up about it earlier, but I didn't really want to 100% commit to it, but I'm here now, so let's talk about the last ride I did. So before we really go any further, if you haven't really been following the vlog recently, so probably over the last week I've been talking a lot about a 520k ride that I did, which was a lot of fun. Me and my friend Paul went from Kings Lynn all the way down to Brighton and back again, and it was about 323 miles or 520k, and it was a really tough, really good ride. I wanted to do a ride reflections video just because I want to talk about a few things that I would change on the ride, and I also wanted to talk about a few things that I feel as though I could have done a little bit better as well, really. So, guys, if you're here, say hi. The reason why I wanted to do this live is so I could answer questions for you. So if you have seen the video from yesterday about tomorrow, or if you saw the video yesterday I made about the big ride I did, please ask away. So firstly, the bike. I'll see if I can just swing this round. Da, 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 da. There she is. There she is. Messy. Bike was perfect. Honestly, I couldn't have picked better gear than what I had there. It was brilliant. I really don't know where to start. Let's actually turn the camera and bring myself over here. You can tell how much I love having a garage, can't you? So much more space. So first thing is first. Steel frame, Ritchie Outback 2020. Was amazing, really was. It was so comfortable the whole way down there. Didn't miss a beat, absolutely loved it. I went on 1xGRX there. Really weird combination. I've got a 42 on the front, 1125 on the rear. Yeah, it's mint, absolutely mint. I'm not entirely sure what grade of steel. So it's a steel bike, it's not titanium. I do have a Thai bike. I got my old Linsky there. And then I've got my Ritchie there. Yeah, it's fantastic. The bags and stuff, I'm really glad I took the feed pouches. They worked really well. And I had enough space for water and stuff like that. The Dura-Ace wheels, well, they're just amazing. They're just amazing wheels, full stop, really. Definitely. So yeah, so the bike was fantastic. The tyres, the Ritchie Alpine JBs, really much better than I thought they were going to be, actually. They felt fast and I didn't get any punctures. Then again, I haven't really had any punctures. Actually, I don't think I've ever had a puncture on those tyres yet, to be fair, and I've probably put about 2,000-3,000 miles on them. So yeah, really good. But we're quite blessed here in Norfolk because the roads are pretty good here. Okay, so, right, let's get back to sitting down, guys. Sitting down. Let's get these questions. Let's get these questions in. But yeah, so the bike was great. And I felt as though I kept on top of the nutrition pretty well. Had a bit of a sugar crash on the way home, like 5 miles from home, but I kept on top of it. Energy powder when I needed it with water. There was plenty of places to stop, so I kept on top of the food. That was nice. You can tell how tired I am. Haven't really caught up on sleep yet. So yeah, nutrition went really well. Someone did send me a message earlier saying, could I do a proper video on kind of what I was eating? Yes, I will do a proper video later on that, but basically meal deals every 3 hours and just snacking on like flapjacks and oat bars, really. That was kind of it. Let's have a look at these comments. Have a look at these comments. All messages are visible. Okay, so. Sam. Yeah, Ali. Steel, mate, steel. What grade of steel? Unsure. Why didn't you and Paul use a tandem, Jason? We just didn't. Just didn't. Though, that probably would have worked quite well, because we would have had to take half the lights with less bags. It probably would have worked. I'll give you that. It probably would have worked. What else we got? We need to see this. Can you share how you paced the ride and measured effort? Yeah, a really interesting question, actually, Chris. So, I'm not very good at pacing, and Neil, my coach turned cycling, is quite blunt with me about this. I should really be using a power meter. I did meet him halfway. I used a heart rate monitor. I probably wasn't really ready for this. I hadn't really trained anywhere near enough, but the legs just came to life, which was quite nice. Pacing, To start with, I always get really nervy, so I'm always pacing really high when I shouldn't. I know that. I'm really bad at that. I seem to pace way too much and I go for it a little bit too much. After about 5 or 6 hours, it settled right down. I went on my heart rate monitor, so in my head, I said, look, my max heart rate is like 194. I'll stick around 130 to 140. It started around 150 and then it dropped right down to like 120 at the end, which heart rate naturally does anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, I didn't really think about pacing it. I just made an effort that when I got to a hill not to hammer it. And after about 5 or 6 hours, I was so tired and I was quite worried about pacing it wrong that I seemed to just get it quite right, if that makes sense. So yeah, so that made me really happy. The pacing, you just off a heart rate monitor. The hills are hard. You have to make sure that you're going to have to give a little bit of extra effort to these hills, especially like what I was talking about just then with the gear ratios, because I'm using like a 42 at the front and an 1125 at the back. Something really steep, you're in the very bottom gear here and you can't change here because it's a 1x system. So it made it sometimes that the heart rate just had to go up. But that's it, so I just dealt with it. Now I was fine with that, so yeah. So I just paced as I normally would do, and that seemed to work okay. What else we got going on? Jason, how are you, Jason, mate? Hope you're feeling good, bud. Worst bit of the ride, best bit. Yeah, I think, oh God, actually, so many highs and lows. Worst bit was coming through London, the traffic, it just sucked. Just sucked. Like, I'll level with you guys here, and I've been through London and cycled around London a lot. London's a beautiful city. It's got some amazing sights, so much culture. You know, I love it, but you know, the outskirts are just not that nice. Like, I don't mean that against anyone that lives there. I just don't like the outskirts. You know, they go on for a long time. The traffic's there all the time. The drivers just aren't very good with cyclists. When you get in the centre, it's beautiful and all that. But coming into the worst part of London, by far, like, I just didn't enjoy it. Like, I've done that trip a lot of times and I did really, really struggle with it there. The best bit, I don't know, actually. All of it was really good. I really enjoyed spending time with Paul. You know, he's such a nice guy. And probably the best bit was actually getting to Brighton and realising we're halfway. And after, we went straight to a 24-hour shop and just had a really nice, decent meal, loads of food, loads of water, you know, a really good 20-minute, half an hour break. And after that, I was just buzzing to go. It was amazing. You know what I mean? Really, really helped. But yeah, it was all good. It was hard. The cold didn't help either. So London was tough. The cold was really tough. I really struggled with the cold. But I do in general anyway, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just need a bit more body to me to stay warm. But yeah, it was all good, mate. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, but with Eddie Wide, it's still kind of sinking in. It was only a couple of days ago, so I'm still kind of putting it through my head. You can see how tired I am, like just looking at the bags under my eyes. So yeah, so it's not it. So yeah, it was good. Really enjoyed it. Oh, what else we got, guys? How did you find managing your efforts for various stages of the ride? Do you keep constant according to time distance? For me, I'm not sure I'm going to answer this question right. How did you manage finding your efforts for various stages of the ride? Do you keep constant very... I tend, like, if I'm racing, you know, like in a situation where I'm competitive with a lot of people, I probably would look at going to different stages and different parts and being more aggressive. Like if there's a climb, you're going to have to be a bit more aggressive, or if there's flats, which I'm naturally probably pretty good at because of where I live, I would probably put a bit more effort into that and try and make some time up. With this, it's just kind of like, I put it into sections as in Kings Lynn to Cambridge, Cambridge to London, London to Crawley, Crawley to Brighton. That's kind of how I do it because of places I've lived before. So I knew the first section I just wanted to ease in, so to get to Cambridge. After that, it gets pretty hilly, so I knew I was just going to pace that really low. Getting through London was a big section just because of the traffic. And then after that, but because I wasn't in a rush, and nor was Paul, it was honestly just a case of just chilling out. This ride, for me, wasn't really about me. It was about Paul. He's a really good friend, client also. And I really wanted to see him do that, because it was a big challenge for anyone, even me. It was tough, really tough. I can't lie about that. But he's never done anything that distance before or like that. So I was just really proud of him. And the ride was about him. It wasn't about me. And I'm just, my motivation was, him carrying on. He was motivating me, I think, more than I was motivating him. And so I think the more and more I get into bike packing, and the less I seem to race, the more I seem to want to bring other people into the sport and, help grow them into it more than anything. So yeah. What hurts today? How long will the recovery take? No, Jason, nothing really hurts today. Just really tired, like, honestly. Since probably about 4 or 5 this afternoon, I've been a little bit, but yeah, nothing really hurts. I feel okay. If someone said, go out and ride now, I'll be fine to do that. I am just a little bit tired. My quads are a little bit tender, but by that, nothing really too crazy. But I'm seasoned to doing this kind of riding. So for me, I've felt worse when I started doing this. So I don't feel too bad, but I tend not to really, I'm pretty good with protein and stuff. So I've been hammering that in loads the last couple of days, and or since I finished. So yeah, so I should be okay. I reckon I could probably do something like that again in a week. Probably wouldn't advise it, but in a week I could probably get away with doing that again, providing I stayed off the bike all week. But I wouldn't mind going out for a ride in a day or two. We'll kind of see how much energy I have left and see how quickly I can get these bags under my eyes gone. That's an important one. Style over practicality, we know this. Did you put your headphones in on it all the way, just chat to each other always? Paul was stoked you did it. I took headphones. I took headphones in case Paul was gonna head off. And that was just because I thought if he heads off halfway or he gets an injury or something like that, or something goes wrong with his bike and he jumps on a train and I decide to carry on, I wouldn't mind having some headphones just to entertain me on the way back. But it didn't come to that. I didn't want to use headphones, and nor did he. We just chatted the whole way. One thing that was quite nice, I've never really done a massive trip like this with many people before, probably only once before. And both times I've been riding along, chatting, but if you don't talk to someone for 20 minutes, half an hour, it's not awkward. You just know you're both suffering a little bit. You're both on the bike, your legs are hurting, you're probably coming up to the next feed stop. You ask, are you all right, mate? He's like, yeah, I'm all right, mate. You all right? Yeah, I'm all right. And then you just go back to being quiet for a while. Sometimes in doing this kind of thing, I think it's really important to be in your own head. And that's normal. And I completely appreciate that Paul and myself were both very quiet at times, because we were just in our own heads, just trying to, put everything together. It's a real mammoth task when you realize you've got like probably 22 to 24 hours of riding to do. And, you've got plenty of time to talk to each other and, have a laugh and a chat and stuff like that. But sometimes you just need to be in your own head, because it's not easy, and one thing even Paul said to me, very interesting thing, he just goes, didn't realise how difficult this was. And, ultra cycling is not easy. And you look at these documentaries, these films like Race Across America and all this, and they do make it look easy. And I think even to an extent, watching my video back, I probably made it look a little bit easy, going, oh, I'm a bit achy and all this. Because it's not. It is really difficult. And it's come from years of, crafting what I do to be able to go out and just smash out 500k in a single ride and, be supportive for other people. It's not easy. You have to understand why you're aching, how to get your head in better situations, but it is like 70% mental. And for me personally, it's a confidence thing as well. You need to know you can go out, and you need to know that you're confident enough to ride 520k, that you've got, you're going to be awake enough, where you're going to get food from, if your wheel blows up, how you're going to do it, you know what I mean? And things like that. It's important to just have this confidence, and that's the hardest thing I think about bike packing, having this confidence to to really go on. So yeah, so it's that's kind of another reason. And Jason, Black Boy said there about, he was really stoked. He should be stoked. He did something real crazy and really cool, and I'm really proud of him because he's the only person to ever join me on a Kings Lynn to Brighton and back ride, and yeah, he smashed it. And honestly, if he wasn't there helping motivate me, I probably would have come home pretty early because it was cold, it was wet, and I was suffering just as much. Really was. Like I said, I haven't really done much big distance riding in a while. What else we got going on? Completely unrelated to the ride. What's the biggest bodge you've done on the bike? Well, it's been so many. There has been so many. Actually, to be fair, I've been pretty lucky with components and bikes and stuff like that. The biggest bodge, I remember once, and I shouldn't say this is bad. I'm not going to mention where and when this happened because it wasn't a race. One of my, I can't remember what happened, but something happened with one of my brakes. I think it must have got, not snagged. This was so long ago. I just, blocked up the shifter and stopped using it. And that was bad, but it's, I was kind of a day away from finishing a race and my brake just stopped working. I can't remember, I was so tired when the situation happened, but basically I just sacrificed a brake when actually, looking back, I couldn't find any way to fix it. There was no bike shops anywhere. I just blocked it. I was just like, that'll do, take the pads, that kind of thing. That kind of was a really silly idea. It's probably the biggest bodge I've done, is in just like kind of block up a shifter so I can shift. But yeah, it's a bit of a long story. But yeah, that's probably one silly thing. But I had one break, and that was kind of, after that happened, I don't know, it was actually to do with the mechanic that did my bike more than anything, I think. I can't remember the whole situation about it, but I remember it was more negligence on how it was put together than it was to do with how the brake was working. But anyway, I was left without a rear brake for quite a long time in a race, which was really unfortunate. And any sensible person would have just, pulled out the race, but just had a front brake, so I just carried on with it. And so that's probably the biggest bodge, as just giving up on a brake. Bar that, I haven't really had to bodge much else. I've strapped things together a lot, but yeah, I've been really lucky with stuff like that. And anything that has really broken has been down to really my negligence, not really any of the parts I've ever used. So yeah, so that's one thing. I put epoxy on a carbon frame once when it cracked. That's pretty bodgy. That's really bodgy. So yeah, but yeah, apart from that, guys, fire your questions in. Give us a like. Give us a comment. Have you noticed I've been pretty good on getting the old YouTube videos out recently? Yeah, here I am. I know, smashing it. A few people have asked what I'm thinking about doing next. I don't know. I've got a ticket to the Race Around Netherlands next year, so I'll definitely be doing that. That's kind of early next year, probably April, May time. I'm really excited about that. I wouldn't mind doing, do you know what? I'm quite enjoying this like really long day stuff, and I wouldn't mind doing some big rides around Norfolk Way, but like I want to see if I can do 400 miles in one push. That'd be quite fun. And then maybe build it up and up and up. The longest push I've ever done, or longest kind of like ride, was 500 miles, roughly, just over 500 miles without, stopping. When I say without stopping, obviously I'm stopping to go to get food, have a wee, stuff like that. So that's the longest I've done. So I wouldn't mind beating that, seeing if I can stay awake. But it's hard, it's really tough to motivate yourself when you're knackered. I find that. I think, and I shouldn't say this, someone made a comment the other day, your dog's made you soft. And I said, yeah, it has. So, do you know what, I'll level with you guys right now. I used to do these big rides like crazy all the time, like 500k rides, go out and cycle for 3-4 days, sleeping, bivvying and all that stuff. I was pretty badass, I'm just not anymore. Yeah, I have got a bit soft, and I want to kind of get back to being a bit more badass again. So the reason I say that is because like when I first started, like 7 years ago, I was, hungry to be good. I would do anything. I'd train all the time, sacrifice life, just everything was cycling, and that I don't recommend ever being like that. Yeah, everything was cycling, and then a few more years in, I got fairly good at it, and I was just giving so much to it. And then well, I started working obviously at the gym, doing all these bits and bobs. I met my partner and Bryony, and I absolutely adore her. And then moved in together, got our little puppy, and we just bought a house recently, which is cool. Hence, I'm coming at you from the garage. Yeah. So the rides just came a bit few and far between, and normal life kind of got a bit more involved, and I just kind of like, as weird as it sounds, just lost a bit the badassness really, which is a bit weird. But it soon comes back. Like, it's like riding at night. You kind of get really accustomed to it. Then if you don't do it for ages, it becomes quite scary again after a while. So yeah. And then you start doing it again. Doesn't bother you. And then you just get a bit more badass. You get in some risky situations. You go to some really weird places. And then before you know it, nothing really phases you so much. And that's a really nice place to be when you're bike packing, because if very little scares you, it's pretty easy to kind of push on when other people won't, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's it. So any more questions, guys? I'm thinking about heading off soon. I'm pretty tired. Got to be up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. So not massively excited about that. So I had a lie-in this morning. So yeah, well, I am excited because I get to go to work and I love work. Yeah, so any more questions, guys? Fire away. Overall, I'm really happy with how the ride went. It took a little bit longer, but that was kind of due to really poor weather conditions and Paul having a few issues. But apart from that, we pretty much smashed it. I probably could have been a bit quicker on the odd shopping trips when I was going into garages, but I kind of just wanted to sit down. One thing I'm not going to do next time is I took a down jacket and I wore it for the whole of 5 minutes when actually I didn't really need to. So yeah, so I wouldn't take that. That used up a lot of space. Wasn't heavy, but I could have stored so much more food and water, but I didn't, and then it made us need to stop more. So that one's on me. So next time, don't take a down jacket. That's the key. That is the key. What else we got? What's got going on, guys? Jelly babies or Haribo? Haribo, all day long. Haribo. Hey, John, how you doing? Have you talked about your light set? I haven't talked about lights or anything yet. Do you want to talk about lights, John? Lights were good. Actually, they were okay. Paul's lights were awesome. Mine were okay. Hold there. Like, let me grab my lights. Hold there, guys. Hold there. So I'm missing one of my lights. No, I haven't. It's in my bag. Hold there, guys. Hold there. Can you hear me? We're on it. Da 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 da. Rightio. I will be back in a second. Hold there, guys. I just need to find something. Okay, I'm back. Guys. Okay, so lights. Sorry, I missed some comments. Lights and keeping everything charged. Honestly, so lights. Here you go. This is a Cat Eye Volt 400. That was awesome. Enjoyed that. I've used these all the time. You can see it's low on battery. I didn't charge this once through the whole trip. I kept it on my low setting. I'm going to try and do this without that, which is, supposedly it's about 100 lumens. It's okay. Next to Paul's light, it looked a bit pathetic because Paul's was really bright. But honestly, if you're somewhere where it's pitch black and there's no street lamps, it is enough. The cool thing about this is the beam angle is very small. So providing you've got it mounted well on your bike, it really does work. But it does have some other settings. I did keep it, but honestly, this thing lasted for like 14 hours, and I was between the low and the middle setting. So that's pretty good. As a spare, I have the better model up, the Volt 800. And these actually have interchangeable batteries. So I use I keep 2 of them, and there's a couple of reasons why. This is a little bit weird to understand. So just say that one was about to run out. I'll quickly go, oh, okay, I'll swap the cartridges around, and then literally, I've got my light working again. Fantastic. But, so I'm riding along on a fresh new battery. Then while I've got this here, hiding in the background, I will literally chuck this onto I'll put this onto charge with my power bank, and boom, we're on charge. So I know that's going to be ready in about 3 hours, when this one's probably going to last me another 12. This is 3,100 milliamps, these cartridges. This is 10,000 milliamps, tested and approved. Actually, it is 10,000 milliamps, this one, and it was only a cheap one off Amazon, but it's fantastic. There's always a diamond in the rough sometimes, so that's how I kind of keep these 2 going. What's really cool about these lights as well, I haven't got it with me now, it's somewhere when I moved house. You can actually unscrew these and get a little special top, which actually will charge your phone and your Garmin as well. So really multi-purpose, really good lights, really good beam angle. Highly rate them, and I will use this one for years. Like, absolutely, we're not talking a few days. I used it for years, like, and it never let me down. And then I actually ended up using the 400 because Cat Eye actually sent me some, which was quite nice of them. But I like having 2. It's always spare. It's always good to have a spare. Always good to have a spare. Rear lights, Amazon special. They said it was going to last for 6 hours. Lasted for more than the whole duration. So, well, not the whole duration. Probably lasted about 10 hours I had it on. And yeah, it's great. It's great on flashing section. It said 6 hours, much longer. Really impressed at that. But only taken it one long ride, so kind of had a good test. This bad boy here, my little Lezyne like slot light, was really good. KTV it's called. Very old Lezyne light. That lasted about 10 hours as well. So yeah, so I had pretty much everything I needed. And this one, if I ever need to charge it, literally what's cool about it, let's turn this off before it blows up. Literally you can just chuck it in, boom, on your power bank. So yeah, you don't even need leads to charge it, which is quite cool. So yeah, so I used them, they were really fun. And I had some little bar end lights as well, but they you can't really class them as lights. They're just little markers more than anything. But yeah, and then keeping everything charged. I didn't have to charge my phone once, which was quite impressive, so I was really pleased with that. Yeah, I just used this cheeky little thing off Amazon. Can't even remember. The sticker was mine. I put the sticker on. I literally only used about 30%, and that was charging my Garmin the majority of the time. And yeah, it was good. It was good. I had all my leads with me. Yeah, there wasn't really much else to it. But on like a ride like that, so this setup here, this power bank, you know, this whole lighting system, and my Garmin 810, which lasts quite a while on battery, I can get away for 3 days riding. You know, like obviously day, night, without needing to stop and charge stuff. That's pretty good, and that's why I don't use a dyno. You know, realistically, dynos are great. I know they are. Like, people keep telling me this all the time. But I can go 3 days. I'm not the kind of person that likes bivvying one night. So to go 2 nights would be a push. 3 nights, it's never happened to me. I've always gone to a hotel eventually and had a decent night's sleep. So I just don't use dynos. I'd rather take this. Yes, the weight might be a couple of 100 extra grams. Don't care. Is what it is. So anyway, where are we at? Lee, thanks, mate. Yeah, it was a good laugh, mate. Really good laugh. Really good laugh. How far or how many hours before you decide to sleep on a ride? Or do you ride until there's nothing left and then sleep? Plus, where's the worst place you've slept? On the side of a road. That's good. I like that. So, what a question. So, how far or how many hours do you decide to sleep before on a ride? That's a tough one. If I'm racing, I will always, because most races start early in the morning. Let's say I start at 6 a.m. I'll normally always do the first full 24 hours and then wait till the next evening. So I'll normally ride for about 35 to 40 hours before I sleep. When I hit like that 30-hour plus range, I'm getting pretty tired and my riding becomes pretty crap and pretty inefficient. So for me, this ride, when we hit like, 28, 29 hours, I'm tired. I've been out for a while. I'd been to work before I did this ride. I was really tired. I was getting really really inefficient. So I'm not fueling properly. I'm not eating properly. the miles are feeling really long, and that's when I know I need to sleep. But if I'm in a race, I'll try and push that a bit further. It's like the competitiveness makes me go a little bit longer, be a little bit more aggressive about everything. And I don't mind that, that's fine for me. It's a good laugh if I'm brutally honest. But normally I get about a day and a half where I'm efficient, but I could probably I've gone like 2.5 days without sleeping before, but it was bad. Like I was really all over the shop. And it's not, we talk about hallucinations and stuff, it wasn't like hallucinations, it was just like looking at things and they look like other things, like you see patterns as other stuff. So it's not like hallucinate like a giant dragon came out to bite me, you just kind of see stuff that looks like other stuff, and that gets it. I've never been to the point of where I've really hallucinated and seen something really messed up. But yeah, so I normally get about 30, I can get about 2 days in realistically. Where's the worst place I've ever slept on the side of the road? Well, there's been a few. I slept on a lot of benches, that's for sure, but they weren't too bad. They were quite toasty, to be fair. So honestly, probably a few benches, public toilets. I slept in some public toilets before. That was a nice low. I've slept like train station floors. Nowhere really too crazy. I once slept in a field where I got the slug on my head. That was really uncomfortable. And that was in the UK as well. So yeah, I slept on some weird places. Not anywhere too crazy though. Just on the side of the road. I'm happy just to sit on a bit of grass on the side of the road and just sleep. Like, slept, on porches of churches and stuff like that. Doesn't really bother me. Sleeping in a toilet, yes. Yeah, it's gross actually. Like, but when you're that tired, you just don't care. Like, it's just a few hours to keep yourself going, But obviously, what would you give for a bed is a lot some nights. I remember once going into like a really fancy hotel, and this was in Taiwan, just because I just ridden so far, I just didn't care. I was like, no matter how much this costs, I do not care, And I remember him saying, "Oh, it's 5,000." I can't remember what it was. I thought it can't be over 200 quid, which was savage because I would never spend anywhere near that on a hotel. But it was the only place that had a room. It was like 3 a.m. Put it on my card, left it that, went in, and then I found it cost me £10.82p. It was amazing. It was like 4-star. It was incredible. Like amazing 5-hour kit, really was. Let's see what else everyone's saying. Congrats. Thanks, man. Well done, buddy. Cheers, Sean. How do you pace these long rides? I get that question a lot. I used to just go and do them, and naturally your pace will start here and it'll just work down and then you'll be in quite an alright place, and that seems to work. But realistically, at the minute I'm using a heart rate monitor, so providing I can keep my heart rate around 130, so my max is 194, I aim for about 130. When I start a ride, it's always sitting around 140, 150. For some reason recently, because I've become more muscular, I find that my heart rate sits a lot higher. And this is a bit of a weird thing, I'm going to do a video on it soon. Since I've been doing a lot of strength training at the gym, not lower body necessarily, more upper body, I'm much more muscular, I'm much bigger, and I probably will embarrass myself and show you the before and after. Since I've become more muscular, my heart rate seems to be a lot higher, or maybe it's because I'm becoming a little bit more unfit, but I seem to be able to hold my heart rate really high now, like 180 plus for quite a long time, which is really good. But yeah, pacing, I normally just let my body pace itself. So I go in cautiously, I just make sure I'm staying around that 140, 150, let it drop to the 130. And then it slowly over time, like after 20 hours, it'll be 120 and then it'll just flatline itself. So yeah, so that's it. Doesn't HR go out the window through after? Yeah, it does pretty much. Yes, it does. It does. Like, honestly, for me, it does. And after the first day, it's just low. It's just super low all the time. Your body just doesn't really want to do anything. The best way to pace would be a power meter, but I haven't got a power meter. And I don't really see myself buying one anytime soon. I probably should. Neil will probably be on this call, listening to this live, go, you buy yourself a power meter now. Yeah, I need to get one to pace a little bit better. But I don't know, I just never really used one before. I do on Zwift, obviously, but and normal training, I'm quite new to heart rates. I always just used to go on how I feel, and that seems to, but even some pros do that, but I don't think I'm pro enough to get away with doing that yet. I'm not even pro. I'm okay at what I do, but I'm not great. I'm not like some of these people. When did you first start cycling? How long until your first race? Interestingly enough, I didn't start racing for ages. I started 7 years ago. I started cycling, and I started 7 years ago, and I started by cycling from London to Paris, and I did it to put a love lock on the Lovelock Bridge for my brother-in-law and my sister to commemorate their wedding, and that was quite cool. And after that, I did some record stuff, attempted some records within the first couple of years. And my first race was 2018. Yeah, about 2018, I think. Biking Man. No, I started racing about 2-3 years in. I did a TCR and I failed that. I sucked at it. Then I went into Biking Man stuff, 2018. So my first race I absolutely trashed. I was terrible at it. That was TCR number 5. So a few years after. But I was doing some big multi-day rides way before. Then after that, Biking Man Oman. I did a whole year of racing, 2018. That was super fun. Really, really enjoyed that. And did like Inca Divide, Biking Man Taiwan. And then went back to TCR and failed that again. It's just one of them races I don't do very well. Race around Netherlands, that kind of thing. So yeah, honestly, I said this to someone earlier because someone sent me a message on my Instagram going, Robbie, you make it look really easy, man. Why can't I do what you do? And never ever say that. Anyone can do anything, full stop. And it's really important to understand that. I've just been doing this quite a long time, so it's just naturally, it's not like I'm genetically good at this. I've just been doing it a long time, and the mental side I'm quite good at as well. Even this ride didn't really train for, but I just knew mentally the thing that was going to beat me was my head. My body was kind of okay, and since obviously I've had a few health issues recently, and getting my test back saying I'm pretty much okay was a good start and a good confidence boost for me. So yeah, so in my eyes, start racing whenever you want. The sooner the better, because the minute you do one, you'll really understand how to bike pack a lot better, because you'll be surrounded by people and you'll be surrounded by people doing it. You'll start to look into it a bit more and it'll just go a really long way. So honestly, if I could have raced within a year and a half, I probably should have done. But you can see a lot of people that do really well at this race pretty quickly. So honestly, dive straight in there, smash it out. You'll learn more about yourself doing a race. But honestly, I've failed a lot of my stuff. Like my career in doing this, I call it a career, my time in doing this, I've failed loads of stuff. If I could give you guys a list, I've lost count of how many rides I started, like going to Brighton, say for example, and back again, and stopped halfway and jumped on a train. Just gone to London, or just turned around, or decided not to do it. There's been a lot. There's been way more than you'd think. Like TCRs. I've gone to TCR twice and scratched both times, but I don't care because I learned a lot from them. I hate to say it, as weird it sounds, I've got nothing to prove to anyone in this. I just enjoy racing. I just enjoy my time in what I do. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. And for me now, it's really nice to do this channel and really start bringing other people into the sport, because that's important. I would just want to see more people bike packing. I couldn't really care if I finished first in a race or 100th. Doesn't really bother me. I love the experience. I love what I do. I kind of love challenging myself, and I love it having these conversations with people online and then seeing them at the start of a race. That's the best thing about this YouTube channel. Full stop. Seeing people on races and doing cool stuff. Did you save this live for later? Yeah, I don't know why. I just kind of thought I'll go live. So yeah. What else we got? Awesome, mate. Thank you. You're a big inspiration. Thanks, Flick. Mate, honestly, thank you. Trust me. It's anything I can do to help bikepacking community is awesome. So guys, got any more questions? Guys, drop us a like. You know what I mean? Tell me about it. Drop me a like. Tell me what's up. Tell me how you're all feeling. And when is your next 10-mile TT? That's a question. Ask me some questions. When's my next 10-mile TT? So my next 10-mile TT is probably going to be soon. I don't know when. Actually, I'll tell you the story about my first 10-mile TT first. My first 10-mile TT I did with the Kings Lynn Cycling Club, my local club, and I rode for 17 hours the day before. Get this, yeah, 17 hours the day before. I think we were at 250 mile. And I slept for 4 hours. Then I prepped for the TT for like 1 or 2. I cycled 7 to the start of the TT. I had an energy gel and then rode on my, on like this old TT bike I had, a 24-minute 10-mile TT. Then went home, and on the way home, I burnt out and I had to stop 3 miles from my house to get some more food. And then I had that and then went home and went to bed. So my first TT has been pretty interesting. But the next one, I don't know, soon hopefully. I'd love to do like a 22 minute TT, like 10 mile TT. But we'll see. I haven't got a TT bike. I've got a cool bike that I'm building upstairs, but I haven't shown anyone that yet. I've got 2. I'm building a commuter, I'm building something else. Hence, I've got a set of aero wheels sitting here somewhere. But I'm not going to talk about that yet. That's all been in the background. What else we got, guys? I've been trying to drop weight, but can you share more about your weights? Hell, I haven't really spoken much about my weights. They're good. I'm enjoying them. So here's a really good example. The weights. So I'm actually, I'll be honest, I'm not even training legs. Not on the weights. Not interested. It has a very big beneficial thing to do to train weights for cycling. It's a huge benefit. Like, we are talking, if you're young, I don't know this for sure. I remember watching a video where this scientist, and they did a lot of tests on this. If you're, let's say, 18 to 30, and you decide that you add a weights program to your cycling, a good average improvement would be 7% on like your FTP to say 7%, 7%. Yeah, that is a lot. If you're between 30 and 50, it'll be like 12%. And the older you get, the more benefit you get from doing weights and stuff like that. So that's doing leg weights. Me personally, I have been doing this a long time. I don't feel very good when I get too skinny. So I like to make sure I've got a bit of bulk to me, like in my arms, my shoulders and stuff like that. For my own personal head demons, we'll call them that. Yeah, for my own personal head demons, I just like to do the weights and I like to be a little bit more bulky. But I started doing a lot of research into this, and you're starting to see a lot of cyclists now. The Glucose Network channel, you know, the guy Abdullah, he won the Racer Trans Am, you know, self-supported across America. Broke the record, killed it, yeah? He's a muscly guy. Providing if you're muscly, you need to fuel more, yes. You're heavier on the climbs, yes. But I don't think, for me personally, it makes that much difference. I'd rather be muscly. I honestly, I don't want to be really tiny and to give myself a chance improvement on my bike packing. I'd rather look how I want to look, be muscular, providing I've got the strength to back it up, then I'll stay muscular. You know, that's it. Like, I'm not really sure. I know that weights are very beneficial for cycling. I really do. And having a weights program would really help me if I trained legs, but I'm not at the minute. I'm kind of having a bit of time off since this whole thyroid thing. I just kind of stopped training legs, but I kept with my upper body because I just wanted it to get a little bit more stockier again. But yeah, providing I feel strong on the bike, my FTP's there, and my watts per kilo is still pretty good, then there's no issue. The minute I was doing weights and my watts per kilo started to fall down, then I would start to go, am I doing the right thing? But while my watts per kilo stays pretty good, then I'll just sit there. But I do enjoy being a little bit bulkier, a little bit stronger. It's quite nice to be able to do like quite a few pull-ups and loads of dips and stuff like that. I enjoy that. And obviously working in a gym, it's just something I enjoy doing. You know, I'm a personal trainer. One thing I am going to be like going into soon, and something I'm doing a lot of research in and a lot of reading on, is I am actually going to start doing strength and conditioning for cyclists. I'm going to start doing that online as an online PT. So if you're a cyclist and you want to get really strong, you want a weights program, and you want to talk to a PT, not someone generic who's just going to give you a few leg presses to do and some squats, you know, then come to me. And that's where I'm at. So soon, once I've got a little bit more information in my head, I'm going to be strength and conditioning for cyclists. What's my current K watts? My FTP. Last time I did a test, which was, wow, a few months ago. I've still been training, like quite intense stuff. I think, I don't know, I think I was roughly about 320 and at 78 kilos. I'm about 79 now. I think I'm a bit chunkier, was before. So I'm about 4 watts per kilo, maybe 4.1. So yeah, it's okay actually. I'm pretty strong at the minute. The whole thyroid thing, I still trained through it and just kept it short and sharp. I didn't really lose much strength. I've lost endurance. I find it harder to do long stints on the bike now, but they're still there. So hey, or maybe I just forgot how hard they were before. Don't know, could be either. Plans for next year. Race around Netherlands, first thing. Because I didn't do it this year, because I was poorly. I decided to do it next year. Luckily enough, the guy let me move it to next year. So I didn't lose my money on that one, which was good. Week record I want to do. I think the week record, I feel really far away. I think the week record would be a good laugh. So I'm going to give that a go. It's going to be bloody tough, but yeah, I want to give the week record a go. And apart from that, no other plans. I would love to do a big race. I don't know. Kind of have to see where life's at, you know. Work's busy at the minute. You know, things are fun. I need to kind of see if financially I can afford that. Or just like, if I've got the confidence. One that I'd always want to do is the Trans Am, the race like across America. But I don't know. I've wanted to do it, but you hear a lot of accidents happen in America and stuff like that. You hear about a lot of accidents on that race. I'll never go back to TCR. Never, ever go back to TCR. I just don't like these kind of ones where you plan your own routes. Got to take risks to do well in a race like that. But yeah, I don't know really. I haven't really got many plans for next year. We shall see. We shall see. What about everyone else? Anyone else doing some interesting races next year? What do I spend? One thing I want to do next year is spend more time with Neil. I haven't really seen him this year. Obviously, COVID and stuff like that hasn't really helped the situation. But being ill as well, like, hasn't really been ideal. But anyway, yeah, I want to spend some more time with him. I want to do Land's End John O'Groats. I live in the UK and I've never ridden Land's End John O'Groats. If you don't know what that is, it's top to bottom. You know, that's one thing. But yeah, we'll kind of see. I don't really know where I'm at, to be brutally honest. I just want to have fun. You know, I'm 33 now. You know, I'm kind of just got a house. You know, I've settled into a good career. I haven't really thought about, you know, the future for my riding. Just want to ride lots, have fun, and, you know, then eventually maybe I'll have kids in a few years and I'll have to see where I go, really. So yeah, that's it. Sean, that's what I want to do for next year in 5-6 days charity. Good man. Mate, Sean, let me know if you want to go Land's End John O'Groats together. I'll be up for that. I'd love to do Land's End John O'Groats. Don't even know why. Just, I hear it's awesome. Le Jog, that's the one. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Lee, hoping to go to the coastal record around Britain. Good for you. Smash it. Let me know how that goes. And if you need any advice, just smash me. Marmots. You're going to have to tell me about this one, Sam. What is that one? What is that one? Mate, am I just being silly? Yeah, so yeah, Land's End John O'Groats. But I don't know. We'll see. Transalba, that's another one I really want to do. So that's like kind of a race around Scotland. But yeah, these are ones that I wanted to do for years and just either been ill or injured. I've had a really crap last couple of years, actually, guys. Not gonna lie to you. Just illness, injury, COVID, everything's kind of been a little bit messed up. So yeah, that's kind of it. So we'll see. We shall see. Do you do any off-road racing, riding? I try. I'm terrible at it though. Absolutely awful at it. I'd love to do more, and but honestly, I'm laughable. Tell you, I'm a roadie and like an ultra distance roadie, and I just like riding big tyres. But gravel riding and trails and stuff, I absolutely suck at them. I'm terrible. Really, really, really bad at it. Yeah, personally, I want to be good at gravel, but I just haven't really got the skill for it. There we go. I could learn. Like, I follow James Hayden a lot, and he seems to have really picked up his off-road capabilities incredibly. I'm just not that good, not that confident off-road. So I've decided stick to the road for a while. But I do like to dabble in some gravel. I am getting better, but I'm just not that good at it. You know, I'm pretty good with the road riding, but I'm not a really technical rider anyway. Like, I could put big miles in, Yeah, that's fine. Put big miles in, I can eat a lot, train hard, but honestly, technicalities, if you want to see me descend, you'll be watching for a long time. Terrible at descending, not very good at cornering, probably not even got that much awareness. You know, give me big tyres, I'll probably put too much pressure in them anyway. You know, it's just what I do. But I do ride massive tyres on the road. Sometimes I just ride 40Cs just for the heck of it. Doesn't bother me at all. Yeah. I would love to do some off-road, but I'm not gonna lie, I suck at it. That's Neil Copeland. He'll tell you. Like, I'm a terrible off-road rider. I should be banned from doing off-road. I'm just so slow and terrible. Sam, 120 miles for high mountains finish on your fave. Outdoors. Honestly, yeah, I have heard of this. You're gonna have to message me about this, Sam. I'd like to do something like that. Sean, I'm the same with cornering. Always get dropped on group on them. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I've never been to cornering school. Not interested. Like, how people just do these descents and just are fearless, I don't know. All I see is a big cliff to fall off, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather lose a couple of seconds, you know, and just meet everyone at the bottom. Not even that interested, you know. I was away with a group for a gravel thing a while ago. I went to the LTD gravel raid. Yeah, this was last year in Germany. Do you know what? Group of people there. And I was probably one of the strongest riders there, but just can't descend. And put me in a descent off-road, even worse. You know, so honestly, there was all these people flying past me. I'd get them up on the hill, and it was just embarrassing watching them all pass me on the descent. I walked most of it, to be fair. I was terrible at it. Like, actually, all the descents, there were so many times I got off and stuff like that. Shot didn't fall, but because they were doing kind of like a promotional thing, I didn't want a picture of me falling off my bike. So I played it safe. And safe is very slow, unfortunately. so yeah, so that's kind of everything that's happened, really. Yeah. So guys, fire your questions away. I'm going in 8 minutes and 20 seconds at the latest because I'm tired. I want to go inside. I love going up and feel the same as going down. Yeah, I hate going down hills. Like, honestly, I do. Like, leave me in a climb. Fine with it. Absolutely fine with it. But give me a sketchy descent. Not interested. Even when bikepacking, hate descending. You know, not sponsored. Even when bikepacking, hate descending. It's uncomfortable, hurts my back, and it just knocks me out my rhythm. I hate it when you go down these big passes and it's like, oh, there's a little hill there. Oh, there's a little hill there. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. The reason why I love Race Around Netherlands is because it's pretty flat the majority of the time. And I'm just quite happy getting in my rhythm and going. I live in Norfolk. Your chainring never stops. Someone once said to me, Rob, you never stop pedalling. It's like, don't need to, I'm from Norfolk. So yeah, guys, find me some questions. Come, I need to head off soon. I'm tired. And my puppy's inside, and so is Bryony, and we're watching TV and stuff like that. And I just said, I'm just gonna go outside, catch up, do a quick live. I didn't put a video up today. I just wanted to do Ride Reflections live. Tell me what videos you want in the future, and I'll do them. I'm going to do one on nutrition. Did you take this Ritchie Outback on this ride? Longest ride done on it? Yes, I took my Ritchie Outback. It's here. You can see it's a right mess right now. Here you go. Let me find it. Yeah. There is my Ritchie Outback. And yeah, I took... hold on. Yep, this is my Ritchie Outback. Yeah, I took it on the ride. It was fantastic. Didn't miss a beat. Absolutely loved it. The longest ride I've done on this is... I've done a few when I was getting ready for the record, the week record, which I'm going to wait till next year now. It's probably... I've done like 300-mile rides on it before, like 2 or 3 of them. So it was kind of its 3rd or 4th 300-mile plus ride, really, in one go. Yeah, it was great. Do you know what? Like, it's actually, this bike is now my favourite bike I've ever had. Like, I love my Linsky. It's great. You know, like, I really did. But it's just such a good bike. Like, I would love to turn around and say, like, it's the, I read a review, and the guy summed it up really well recently. He said, there's just some bikes that just don't ride like a bike. They just become like a part of you. And this is what it's like on this bike. You just ride it and it just clicks. You know, you feel really at one with the bike. It's not the lightest bike in the world. it's not the fastest. It's got really long chain stays. Look at that. Yeah, really long chain stays. But it just rides beautifully. It just feels so nice, and you know, it's just so comfortable. I love it. I absolutely love this bike, and yeah, it's my favourite bike ever. Like, I'm quite into like flashy aero things, but and this is very classic looking, and yeah, I love it. And steel is real. Steel is totally real. Like, I absolutely love it. It's a really cool bike, and I really. Do you know what? Like, I'm not gonna sit here going buy Ritchie Outbacks, you know, but just try one, and when you ride one, you'll just be like, oh my god, like it's just so long, and you know, I'm talking about how bad I am at descending. Yeah, this thing, like, it's just so comfortable in descending, and it just offers so much control. It's unreal. It's an absolutely incredible bit of kit. It really is. I just love it. Actually, I just love it. But I just can't, I can't explain how nice it is to ride. It really does. And okay, so even though you can see my seat height to my handlebar height, even though it's slightly more aggressive than my last bike, I get no pain from it in any single way. No back, you know, no nothing. It just rides beautifully, and it's always comfortable. And I don't know why. I want to put a reason on it, but I just love it. It's my favourite bike ever. Weight of it, as it sits with the bags. So, wow. Okay, that's a difficult one. I'm not sure. So I know roughly, I'm not really sure because the tyres make it a bit different. I know it's probably about 8.5, 9 kilos without the bags. With the bags, the feed pouches, the aero bars, the bottle cages, I think the base weight, and because obviously I'm running really light gearing, carbon seat post, super light saddle, I would like to think, I'd like to think that the basic, without anything else on, would be about 8.5, 8.7, maybe between 8.5 and 9. And then with all these bits on, like the bags, let's say couple hundred grams, whatever. The aero bars, you know, the tires are probably a little bit heavier because they're really thick tires. The water bottles and cages, you know, you've got to realistically be looking at, I don't know, 10.5 maybe. I don't know. That's a really tough question, actually. I'm not entirely sure. Then with all my crap in the inside as well, when I race, I try not to really have the bike weight much more than about 12, maybe 13 kilos. Then you add your water. But yeah, it's still a really good weight. For steel, yeah, it's an amazing weight. So, but someone once said to me, there's nothing like Ritchie steel. I never got that. And now I ride a Ritchie, I get it. Totally get it. Totally get it. No, actually. A Cuddy Storm. The frame is actually, so I'm 6 foot. This is not gospel. Do not go off this advice. This is probably not good advice. I'll tell you this now. I am 6 foot, roughly. And they advise people, I think it's like 5'8" to 5'11" to be on a medium, 5'11" upwards to be on a large. It is a medium. The reason I went for a medium is because I struggle with reach. So I've got long legs and I've got short arms. I'd make a terrible boxer. So I went for short because I was finding with my old bike, which was a medium large, I was still on an 80mm stem. So this felt too far away and it was causing me lower back pain. So I went for a medium, which meant my handlebars were lower, my seat had to be higher, which was more aggressive, but the actual bars were closer to me and that fixed the problem. But it did make it more aggressive to lean down, hence I got the aero bars and spaced them as high as I could to be able to do that. I would be an amazing T-Rex. I really would. So that's what I did. So it's a medium. The Blackburn Elite frame bag is, I think it's the largest one they do. So yeah, that's good. But it fits perfect. It does fit amazingly. So yeah, it's good. And then the rest of the other bags are Pro, Discover, which are just awesome. Honestly, the bike has got a really odd geometry, and that's why it works so cool. But it is mine's a medium, and I probably should have gone. If I was to go into a bike shop and say I want a Ritchie Outback, they probably would have said you need a large, but I don't think it would have actually fitted me as well as the medium. But Ritchie have got specifications. Hey Ian, Ritchie have got specifications about what size they make it for. So personally, don't listen to me, listen to your bike shop, listen to your bike fitter, listen to Ritchie. But I just knew that I couldn't go, because unfortunately Ritchie make a medium, a large. Like my last bike I was using, the Linsky, had one in between. They had a medium large, and a large. So I used to fit in this medium large bracket here, which was fine. Ritchie don't have that, so I had to go either way, and I took a punt and went for the smaller, and yeah, it paid off really well for me. So yeah, so I'm really happy. The large I think would have been too big. I would have been on a bloody 60mm stem or something like that. Would have been tiny. So yeah, so I kind of avoided that, if I'm brutally honest. But yeah, I love it. Best thing, the GRX is incredible. Yeah, it's the best two-wheel bike I've ever had. Pushing the saddle a bit forward wouldn't help. No, it just didn't. It just messed up everything. I don't know why I thought about that, but my saddle's not too far back anyway, to be fair. It's kind of halfway, my saddle at the minute. So yeah, I thought about I could push it forward, or maybe use, you know, you get straight seat posts and layback ones, you know, the ones that kind of bend at the top. I was gonna, you know, use a straight seat post, push it forward, but no, just didn't really want to. You know, I wanted the smaller frame anyway, because I've been doing that with so many bikes for so many years. I remember I had a Linsky Sportive in a medium large again, and I had to use a straight seat post and push it right forward, and it was still too far and too aggressive. But yeah, I do have really short arms, and I haven't got the most flexible of backs in the world. The problem is as well, since I've been doing a lot of weights, bulked up a bit, my posture's got a lot better, meaning it is a bit tougher to be in these real leant over long positions for a long time. So yet again, another win. But yeah, like honestly, go to a bike fitter, ask them what bike size you need to be on. I'm not the best guy to ask, but I went for a medium, not a large, and it worked for me. GRX Club Rise, yeah, of course GRX Club Rise, I love it. I'm running like a 42 on the front, 1125 in the back, love it. It doesn't like, how often do you run out of gears when you're going down a hill? So rarely, and even so, like the kind of riding I do, doesn't really matter. I've got enough to get up the hills. I love it, it's light, it's efficient, it's quick. Yeah, GRX for everything. GRX is awesome. It's got those lovely flat top shifters. Best groups ever. Like, I was Ultegra till I die before GRX came out, and I was one of the first people to actually ride GRX to the UK, which is quite cool. And yeah, as soon as I rode it, I was like, oh my God, these shifters are amazing. Yeah, I love it. I don't think I'm ever going to come away from GRX. Not anytime soon. I've got Ultegra on my Linsky, but I don't really ride that. So not at the minute anyway. So yeah, so honestly, yeah, GRX, love it. It looks cool, it's rugged, it's got the clutch mech, the gearing options, you can get so much range out of the gearing, or you can go really minimal. I just think it's so adaptive, it's so cool. You can mix it all with the other Shimano stuff. Yeah, love it. GRX for everything. I am team GRX forever now. Or maybe Dura-Race if I was a road racer, but I'm not. I'm more of a bike packer, ultra distance rider. Give me the GRX, give me the one by. Simple, great gearing. Mechanical as well. Check me out, mechanical. Not even a Di2er, just love mechanical. Di2 is amazing, but I'm just a fan of mechanical. I love the feel of gear cables and how they pull across. Simplicity is key. Anyway guys, it's been a long time. Bryony is probably wondering where I've gone. I hope you enjoyed the live tonight. Give me a like, give me a comment. The more likes and comments I get, the better my channel can be, the more time I can spend making content for you guys, which I need to do much more of. So you must send me messages and tell me what you want to see. I run out of ideas sometimes about what videos to do, that kind of thing. I will do a little bit more on nutrition in the next day or two. I will probably do a video tomorrow about the setup and what I used on my Ritchie, and do a separate video about that when I clean it. But for the minute, yeah, we're all good. And it was just the perfect bike for that trip. And it was a really good ride. I enjoyed it. I've failed a lot. Like I said earlier in this video, I failed a lot of things in my cycling before. So it's quite nice to come back after having a bit of illness and being quite poorly, thinking I'd never be able to do what I love as well as I have been, to actually having a really successful trip and seeing it through with a good friend who deserves all the credit. You know, he did amazing on this and motivated me to push on much more. But as you can see, I'm still tired. I'm still eating way too much food, and I'm ready to probably get back to doing some weights tomorrow, but I probably won't cycle for another day or two. What's the best way to send me messages? Instagram, Riding with Robbie. Yeah, Instagram, best way. Or comment on these videos. I try and reply to every comment. If it's nice, I get nasty comments. Yeah, you guys wouldn't be surprised. I get some nasty comments sometimes. But, you know, like, yeah, I have had nasty comments. Never an apology. Never an apology. Actually, I got one apology of someone quite famous. Any new Biking Man races in the future? I don't know, maybe. I wouldn't mind doing one. I wouldn't mind doing Biking Man Portugal. But I've done quite a lot of Biking Man. I enjoyed that. That was a good laugh. Really enjoyed it. But I kind of want to do 1 or 2 races a year and then just some fun trips for myself. I really like the adventure bike racing guys. You know, they're really cool. So yeah, wait. I will wait. But the Biking Man stuff, they're great races. They're really good races. They're really well put together. They're brutal. They're fun. There's great support. You know what I mean? That's it. So yeah, I probably will do another Biking Man. Adventure bike racing. I really love the race around Netherlands there. Yeah, I don't know. I want to do another big race. Not TCR though. I'll never go back to TCR. Maybe Trans Am. We'll see that. When you have time, go more in depth GRX vs 105. Yes, I'd love to do that actually. That'd make a great video. GRX vs 105. How different they could be. Well, the funny thing is, everything is kind of coming together to be quite similar. But there's a lot of differences between 105 and GRX. You know, shifters very different. The way they work, like, I talk about the shifters a lot, but with the GRX, what you have to understand is the shifters aren't just like, you know, another version of an Ultegra 105 shifter. They have different pivot points, so they're easier to grip, they're easier to brake. You know, they're made so they're better in a position where you need to actually have more leverage. They're really cool, you know, and this is the thing. Like, everyone looks at GRX thinking, oh, it's just like more rugged 105 Ultegra. No, the pivot point's different, the gearing's different, it's more rugged. We're talking clutch mechs. It's made so differently, and there's so many subtle little things that just make it a little bit more badass than 105 and Ultegra. They're all great group sets, but in their own way. That's the important thing to say. Yeah, really good. Honestly, yeah, the GRX just amazing. But I will do a video going a little bit more into it. Yeah, it does. I've never really ridden. Honestly, I love to tell you I've ridden MTB. Someone just put it feels more like MTB. I've never really ridden MTB before, so I kind of wouldn't really know, but it just feels like you can just be hammering down rocky and everything just stays in place. It's really cool, feels really rugged, everything feels really solid. Yeah, it's just really good, but the main thing for me is the shifters. They're so comfortable on my hands, and the pivot points are better. I've got, you know, I was just saying about I've got short arms, also got quite small hands. So being able to have a better pivot point really helps me get into the brakes a little bit better on some nasty descents if I'm ever doing anything off-road. Compared to if I was on 105 or shifters like that, I wouldn't be able to do that. And getting in the drops, I'd have like my 2 fingers on the end there, and I'd have to get them adjusted right in. When actually on these, they sit where they need to be straight away. So there's a lot of differences. Sorry, I saw a question. 105 is made to brake on the drops, where GRX is made to brake on the hoods. Yes, sure, and that is exactly it. GRX is made where you can be braking from the tops. It's a lot better for people with small hands like me. Small hands, big heart. Anyway, guys, I'm knackered. I need to go. I've been here for 1 hour and 10 minutes, and I haven't even had more than like 3 sips of this can of Pepsi Max, not sponsored. Yeah, we'll go from there. Guys, send me messages on the Instagram. Follow the profile. Put a picture of my dog up there earlier. She's right cute, I tell you. Anytime. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'll get some videos out tomorrow. I will do about the whole setup I used this 500k ride. And we'll go from there. And if anyone wants the route, I'll find it for you somewhere. My Garmin died halfway through, unfortunately. Ian, oh mate, I must go back and watch it. I will get it on the channel and go from there. Anyway, thank you for supporting the channel, guys. I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, I'd love you to subscribe. If you like, please chuck us a like, comment, please comment, it goes a long way. If you could go and watch my adverts, that'd be amazing. One thing I want to do a video on soon is I got my first payment from Monetize from YouTube. It was £60, and I want to do a video to see how interesting we as a community can spend £60. I was thinking about buying a bike, taking it somewhere crazy and giving it away. I thought that could be quite fun. So give me some ideas about how I can spend £60. That would be to benefit the bike packing community. Like I said, every penny I earn from this channel at the minute goes straight back into doing silly stuff. Anyway guys, I need to go. Community ride pizza time. Yeah, I would do something like that actually. Give me some ideas. Got 60 quid currently paid out. Oh, taxes, let's call it 50. 50, yeah. So let me know how I can spend the money to benefit the community. Anyway guys, I need to go. I'm tired. I've got work till 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to go see Bryony for a bit. Right. I don't even know how to end this thing.